What is going on, guys? Stephen Harvey here from Riker Media, and in today's video we're actually going to be talking about how you can decrease your sales cycle length. And what I mean by that is, the average duration for us to actually close a prospect on a high ticket deal is usually 2 or 3 weeks, and we want to take that from 2 or 3 weeks and actually take it all the way down to 24 to 48 hours. And that's what we like to do. That's what we like to train here at Riker Media. We take on coaches and consultants as well as agency owners, and we show them, we help them with their client acquisition. So things like outbound prospecting, appointment setting. We actually also teach you how to build your brand and build an audience that you can actually sell to and warm up in your own network. And then lastly, we talk about how you can close those deals through sales calls, building out your sales collateral and building out sales teams so you can actually close high ticket deals on autopilot. So if you do want to learn more about that sort of stuff, then this is the channel for you. You can either hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube right now, or if you're on, in the Facebook community too, or if you're not in the Facebook community, there's a link down below and it's 100% free to join. So go ahead and click that and join now. But let's get straight into my computer now. We're going to go over a document that I prepared for this. So on this document here, headlined it, close deals faster, decrease your sales cycle length. Pretty basic. I'm actually going to be reading mostly off this document because if I don't, I like to go off on tangents sometimes, and I'm trying to take this from being a 15-minute video and not a 30-minute video. All right. So firstly here, this applies to anyone in sales, especially if you're a sales manager managing a remote sales team, then you'll probably get some benefit out of this. Let's talk about decreasing the sales cycle length. What is closing and what is selling? Well, selling is different from closing. Closing is the process of actually getting someone across the line, and we can increase the chances of conversion with this formula here. Now, this formula, it's taken from Nick Kozmin. So if you know Nick Kozmin, then you might recognize this formula. If you don't, then he talks a lot about sales, and I like to learn a lot from him and how he kind of does a lot of sales. He actually helps people build remote-based sales teams as well. Now, high, low, lower, urgency, scarcity, risk reversal. You can obviously see it kind of out on the left here, although it's a little bit scuffed at the moment as I have these two documents or 2 pages side by side. But if you apply that formula to your sales calls, you will shorten the sales cycle significantly. The difference between a 30-day sales cycle and a 7-day sales cycle is actually significant, more significant than you actually think. If you can apply these tactics and get your sales cycle even down from 14 to 7 days, and you're able to get upfront deals that can significantly affect your business and for the better. So let's talk about high, low, lower, urgency, scarcity, risk reversal. First, you want to anchor your price to something like an alternative in the market. So let's say you're selling a product. Let's anchor that price to a service of getting somebody to do it for you. So as we said here, this is our high. This is where we're anchoring it. So our high is, let's say someone to do something that you're doing very similar, it's going to cost $80,000 or $50,000. So if your service, let's say your service is $8,000, this is before you drop any kind of offer into the mix. You want to first anchor it to something, like I said, $50,000 or $80,000. So this would be like a salary of them having to bring someone in-house and build it for them. They would spend this. And this is high, this is the highest anchor that we can go. Now, if we're going low, we're anchoring low and we're saying $50,000 or $80,000, then you're saying, well, with us, it's only $8,000. So you're anchoring high and then you're going low, and that is selling. We're selling them on the idea that we are the most or the more cost-effective solution. And now we've got to go into closing, and this requires us to go lower. So as we said, remember, it's high, low, lower, urgency, scarcity, risk reversal. So high, $80,000, low is $8,000. Now we want to take that and we have to apply some urgency to it. There's a reason, we have to give them a reason why they need to buy now. And this can be incentive-based pricing. This can be a bonus. You have to give them a reason to act now. So incentive-based pricing works well. An incentive could be $1,000 off or $500 off. And you also need to justify the reason why you're going lower. Here's a little trick. So let's say here on low, if they go for you now, it's going to be $1,000 right here. And actually I would almost say that that's almost going lower. So actually our low is, let me move this across. Our low is our is our $8,000, which we're pointing up here. So high, here's our low, and now here's our lower. So if you go with us now, we're actually going to give you $1,000 off. And at the end of the day, uncertainty is not nothing. The cost of following up, the cost of waiting 2 weeks is not nothing relative to the salesperson and relative to the sales, the whole organization. That uncertainty can be a hard cost. The cost of not getting the deal today means that you're not able to follow up with those, with the prospects tomorrow. Or if you're spending time following up with that prospect, that means that you're not, following up with somebody else. So that cost is significant, and the prospect will actually understand that. At the end of the day, time is money. So you want to spend as little time and have as little time in terms of acquiring the customer. But obviously that allows you, once you get inside, you can spend more time on that customer in there. So, don't get those two mixed up. Prospects, little time. And then once they're inside and they're a client, then obviously spending more time there and really delivering that kind of what we call butler tier service. So that's the reason why you can give an incentive to close fast, because you're actually saving money and you're saving time and resources. You can pass those savings on to the prospect, and the prospect is pretty understanding. Another incentive you can offer is also if you're doing a per project kind of service, like video editing, for example, then requesting a 50% deposit to start the project, and then the remaining amount to be billed when the project is finished. This lowers the financial barrier for the prospect to enter, and then they can just pay in installments. So like I said, high, low. So low is with the anchor, low anchor is $8,000. So we are $8,000. And then lower is, we'll actually give you $1,000 off. So we'll take that down to $7,000. And now we're getting into urgency. And urgency here is, falling into something what we call 24. We're going to put in 24 to 48 hours. Okay. So, urgency, this falls into the whole incentive-based pricing thing. If you can close within the next 48 hours, then we'll give you this incentive. And again, it's completely logical relative to the buyer, because it's saving the person or the salesperson and the organization money, and that's why you can pass on savings to them. So high, low, lower, and now urgency, which means if you act now, we'll give you $1,000 off, and this $1,000 off, that's only if you act within 24 hours. So in fact, if we draw the arrow the other way, if you act now, in the next 24 hours, we're going to give you $1,000 off. So you can kind of pair these two up. They kind of go hand in hand with each other. So moving on now to scarcity, risk reversal. Now, you don't want to manufacture scarcity. Typically in any business, you don't have unlimited resources. You can't service an infinite amount of customers. So there's a hard cap on how many customers you can bring on. Because typically there's back-end costs, there's service costs, customer success costs, and even, like I said before, that kind of butler, or in this case, concierge, white glove treatment that you can give somebody if they sign up. You want to apply the urgency and the scarcity. So we can't bring on everybody and then you have to give a reason, because we are going to be giving you an XYZ service, and we only have X amount of spots available. So you want to take a look at your business and figure out how many spots you can provide. Now, if you have 30 spots open, tell the prospect you have 30 spots open. Don't tell the prospect you have 1 spot open. Just be straightforward. The prospect will appreciate the honesty. And in saying that as well, with what I was saying here, giving that reason is really important too. So, because we're going to be giving you this kind of service, or because, at the same time, we can also do what we call, and we're actually going to get more into this, is we can do some exclusivity by saying, doing that scarcity as well. So let me just drag this across. So this can kind of like go into exclusivity, and I didn't really add it to the formula because it's not really so much the formula, and I probably spelled that wrong. But what I mean here is with exclusivity is you want to kind of make them feel like they're gonna miss out. Really, if they don't act now, they're actually gonna miss out. That's obviously with the scarcity, but then they're actually going to be part of a certain specific intake, and they're going to receive a certain service for that. Because at the end of the day, if you can say we only take on 5 people per month, and that's because we want to allow, we want to ensure that we can allow enough time and enough resources to really, give a lot of attention to these 5 people in that intake. That's why we do it. And that is also that exclusivity. So you can also break this down into intake periods. So you could say, on the first day of each month, you open up spots for an intake, and actually builds this kind of backlog of people that are, really, really interested in what you have to offer. Instead of being open, doors open 365, so 365 days of the year, where you can just, bring on somebody each and every day, especially if you're into group coaching. Group coaching is really great for this, because what you can say is, like I said, have an intake and an influx of people coming in at one time. And that can help you with onboarding and everything, because it means that you can just do all your onboarding at one specific time and not have to onboard people every single day. Say you're getting one person every single day coming in, then instead of having to take that time every single day to onboard them, you can actually be like, bring them on, first and second day, so 24 to 48 hours. You got everybody paying, everyone closing deals, and they're into your program. And then next, what happens is you then do like a group onboarding, or you can do an onboarding call with each and every one of them, but you could sit down for the entirety of a day instead of having to spread it out over multiple days. So exclusivity is a great thing, and a little bit different, but Apple kind of do this. So what they sort of do is, and it's more rumored, it's not confirmed, but they release these little leaks of the brand new iPhone that might be coming out in that year. Then what happens is that gets people talking, it gets media outlets picking it up and trying to spread news within the tech industry. Next, you got the reveal, usually around September. So this time, they will come out with like they'll do a, what would you almost call it? Like, not, I don't want to call it a press conference, but they do something similar where, Tim Cook comes out and he says, cool, this is the brand new iPhone. But then tomorrow, the next day or whatever, it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out until maybe, 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the track. And so it allows people to kind of build up this kind of from, hype gets built up from leaks to reveal and then to purchasing. Okay. So a little bit like slightly off tangent. I did say I do sometimes go off tangents, but just another example of how you can build some hype. And some people think it has a negative effect, because they're like, oh, but I want to be open. I want my doors to be open. I want to give everyone the chance to join. It's like, in fact, if you do it the other way around, I guarantee you're going to see some incredible results. Now, moving on to the last thing now, and near the end of this video, you want to go into the last thing, which is risk reversal. So risk reversal means in the event of you not fulfilling your promise, what happens? Remember that this is all within the closing. If you can do high, low, lower urgency, scarcity, risk reversal all in a few minutes, you'll likely be able to push the customer over the fence. And when I do say this, this formula here is kind of followed in that order as well. Don't go high and then go risk reversal. You want to actually follow it step by step, because at each level that we have here, you're going to have a pushback. So he'll be like, okay, 8,000 is just a bit too much. Okay, cool. Well, we for the pricing, we can actually, if we have you on board within the next 24 to 48 hours, we're actually going to give you $1,000 off. So instead of paying 8,000, you just have to pay $7,000. Okay, cool. He's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. Okay. Well, I tell you what, our intake, if we can get you, the reason we want to try close you so fast is because, our intake is this week. We like to get everyone on board so that everyone can kind of be in the same position, and they're able to help each other as well, instead of having different people being at advanced levels. Okay, yeah. Okay. And then moving on from there, risk reversal as well is, well, I tell you what, and at the end of the day, this is a 12-week program. I tell you what, in this 12-week program, if we don't get you, through our methods, if we don't get you a single client, then we're actually going to continue coaching you outside of those 12 weeks until you actually get that client. And you actually also be part of this group pretty much indefinitely, into the Facebook community, into the Discord community, whatever you want to do there. You're going to be part of that. You're going to have access to the video training indefinitely. But in terms of the one-on-one coaching that you're going to get and the group coaching calls, we'll actually keep doing those until you actually get yourself your first client or a new client. So yeah, that's just a perfect example of how you can do it in that case. And that's sort of what we like to do. So if you can go high, low, low, yep. Like I said before, risk reversal could be a guarantee, an action-based guarantee. It could be typically a warranty, some sort of concession that you will make if you don't deliver. on your promise. If you do this properly, you can create an irresistible offer. That's all that is closing is. If it's not some sort of magic, it's literally creating an irresistible offer. One thing we use, well, not actually we use, but one thing that a lot of Facebook agencies use is they'll have like performance-based offers, or what we call ROAS deals. So, one offer that I see out there is, if we do not deliver profitable results, then you do not pay us a single cent. Suddenly we shift all the risk away from the client and charge based on performance. And that's a perfect example there. So any of you agency owners out there, that can be something that you can look into. Now with these iOS 14 changes, I know tracking and stuff like that can make this a little bit complicated, so you might have to go into the Shopify backend and track things from there. Some people are a little bit afraid of giving guarantees on their service or giving guarantees on their product. If you impose a guarantee in the offer, then guess what? You're going to be forced to make sure that your product or your service is up to or above the standards. So it creates this forcing function on your product development team, on the service delivery team, and obviously you don't want customers acting on the guarantee, because if they don't act on the guarantee, or if they do act on the guarantee, it means that they're not satisfied and they're not happy. Not only is the mechanism going to improve your sales closing rate and decrease your sales cycle length, but it will also put that forcing function on the product or the service delivery team to improve the service, which is good for everybody, really. So that is how you close deals. Now, there's also mechanics on how to do this at scale. Those are the concepts, but these language patterns, these mechanics, there's always ways to train your salespeople to get 50 people doing this simultaneously and at scale. Now, as I was saying, moving back to this one, like I said, having this guarantee, and I'll be doing more videos like this. I'll be actually splitting these up and being like, talking about all the different guarantees. I think if you haven't read this book already, but $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi, I just completed it a few days ago, and in there he listed out probably what I would say maybe seven or eight different guarantees. So two of those guarantees I almost just gave there. So there's a whole bunch of different guarantees, and I'll most certainly be making another video about that. But that is all from me, taking it back here. Thank you guys for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you are part of the Facebook community as well and you're watching this in here, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for being active in here. Stay tuned. Leave a comment if you have any questions, both on YouTube as well. If you're watching from YouTube, like I said earlier in the video, links down in the description if you want to join that Facebook community. But that is all from me today. I do hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.